Welcome back. Glad you all could be here. Happy to see everybody. It's amazing. It's wonderful. It's fantastic. Let's go ahead and jump into it. See what's going on. What's going on?
You start the messages?
Apparently it's 148.
You're welcome.
Hi, Will.
Hello.
You get half experience.
Welcome to the game. Glad you could be here.
Hello.
Did you enjoy your nap?
Yeah.
Betty Bye-byes.
Will.
Hey, Will's here.
Thank you, Miss Obvious.
Will, how was your week? How was your 2 weeks been, sir? Let's hear him.
Yeah, I can do it.
It's been alright. As for you know, one of my pets died this week.
No.
Yeah, you told me about that.
That is sad.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Here.
So, but other than that, it's alright. So now I've got to catch up on like 2 hours of game. So.
Yeah. You haven't missed much. Everybody's dead.
Brilliant.
GG.
We've all actually spent the past 2 hours making new characters.
GG, no hooray.
Fuck no. Alright, one. We'll never die.
I'm a barbarian. It's amazing.
And we've decided, Will, that you're going to play the horse in the party. So
I've become.
No, I thought we were gonna say fairy princess. Wasn't he gonna be the fairy princess?
I became the cleric.
I mean, how about
whose
this?
sole mission was to help the world.
The giraffe, the
lol.
mule that
Nobody
carries
believes that.
the mule that carries all of the party stuff that used to be a fairy princess.
Right.
I mean, we've
Hannibal, before he died, demoted you.
Are the strongest class. So.
True.
That's true. And it gives me an excuse to call you a jackass. So.
You're also.
But I'm not a donkey. I'm a horse.
Yeah.
I'm a real horse.
You're actually my horse's son, Cockmice. My horse is
Yeah,
Cockmeister's son. So you're Cockmeister Jr.
Will, can you just say donkey again for us?
Donkey.
Oh my god. It's amazing.
Oh god, it sounds so stupid. It sounds so stupid.
What's wrong with me saying donkey?
I said it
Because
again.
it gives
Does
me...
he pronounce every letter in the word?
How do you say it then? If you're
Donkey.
so smart?
It's a donkey.
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 Oh!
It's okay.
Um,
Trying to imagine Jordan saying meowser is a lot more funnier.
Yeah. Be a cat rancher.
Only
Seriously.
if I can be a ranch hand, though.
Yeah, no, seriously. If I knew for a fact that it would make me $1 million on YouTube, I would totally figure out how to be a cat rancher. And just literally have videos of that. You can live stream on YouTube nowadays, right? Fuck it.
Yep.
Hell,
Yeah.
you can live stream on Facebook. Yes, you can live stream on
And Twitter, apparently. So, there's that.
I can.
Meowses, mate! Look at the size of her! I'm gonna try and put her in a little bow, see if it makes her pissed off.
And you doubt that this won't make you $1 million?
No, I'm pretty certain it would. So. But Will, to catch you up, you and Morella are in Middenstag. You met with a particularly novel character, Sir Bryce, who you may or may not remember. And the rest of the group is currently dealing with the aftermath of the Battle of Middleweg. And trying to figure out how all the demons and weird magma creatures got there. Was a primary mission of that particular part of the party. But since you're here, let's start off with Morella and you. Morella has been... apparently there's a high number of users in my video chat call.
I know.
Marilla has been writing letters to the 5 knights' families that died, and you've been kind of assisting, not directly, but indirectly. And so, what is there for the group of you to coordinate? Essentially, you need to find out, like, the goal of coming to Middenstag was to find out if you'll have shelter, and then to report back, right, and saying, like, hey, yes, this is a valid route we can go, right?
Yeah.
So what is there for the two of you to coordinate before you head off again?
The first thing would be to see whether or not it could, not for an infinite amount of time, but for a time, if it could host a said army.
Yeah, it
If
certainly
anything
could.
has happened, if anything happened to the town due to, numerous things coming about, such as, unbeknownst to Morella, other towns being captured, burned to the ground, things of that sort.
Yeah.
So, there's also seeing whether or not, if they cannot stay, to gather supplies to bring back.
Yeah, and Sir Bryce gave you some cryptic... You didn't ask him directly, but he gave you some cryptic answers about how they apparently already knew about harpies, like they've had dealings with them before.
Yep.
And also that there are, just because you can see them coming doesn't make them any less dangerous, was the line that he used about other things. So maybe there are some other things that Middenstag is dealing with that you haven't been told directly, so that's something you could certainly go find out.
It's more of actually asking what has been afflicting this town for it being in a more defensive-oriented status. So, probably Bryce would be the person that Morella would speak with, seeing as how he's the one in charge and is more of a veteran, so he has a better understanding of what is actually wrong, type of thing.
Okay, yeah, no problem. And yeah, I think that Sir Bryce is the obvious answer to that. But again, maybe talking with the guards and stuff would be okay, right? Like maybe they have different perspectives.
She wouldn't put it past to ask just the regular guardsmen. It's go to Bryce first, then the others.
Sure. What about you, Farron? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm certainly in a position to ask around the soldiers and see what's up.
Okay, so maybe divide and conquer then.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So Farron, you go off and you are going to kind of mill about the guardsmen who would let you into the town, and you also have the 95 knights here as well. And what specifically are you going to go after as far as information goes? How are you going to approach it? What are you asking? Are you just asking them, like, hey, what troubles has the city had? Because it's totally valid as well.
Yeah. Nothing too full on at this point. Just, hey, we're heroes helping out. And are there any problems going on? Intent, kind of thing.
Sure, yeah. So I think that as you're kind of milling about, it appears that the guardsmen and the knights have been trading stories, right? Mostly talking about the harpies. So you catch wind that that Middenstag has had. That's a great question, Aelin. She is not with Farron currently. That's all we really know. And you find out that they've had dealings with the harpies, and so they probably have like some stories about bows and arrows that they've been using, etc., etc. Middenstag is a fair more martial town than most of the other villages, because it's actually where the Lord sits that is in charge of the area. We know that from way back when, but also from now. Middenstag is also in charge of Untergard and Grimmenhagen and Delbers This whole general area right here, the Howling Hills area. So, because of that, it's like the seat of power in the surrounding area. There's a cat.
Oh my god, kitty.
Let me get your eye boogers. Why do you got eye boogers?
Kitty.
I remember my dog had those, and we had to put special stuff on his food.
So it's the seat of power of the area. And you find out too that actually roll me a manipulation check. I like calling it that.
All right. Here is one manipulation.
Actually, I want it from Farron.
Oh. Well,
Because you're going to go talk to Bryce, and we'll maybe have you make another one as well, but Farron's talking to the common folk.
Okay.
Holy fucking shit. That's not even a critical.
I think a 30 will do it.
Jesus. Yeah.
You know what? No, I don't think so. Roll again.
Also, a 1 is 13, so that's probably also good.
Yeah.
So yeah,
He's not wrong.
You find out that some of the guardsmen have been taking like jobs or rumors or listening in to some of the peasantry that works the farms in the area, that they've had problems with beasts getting into their livestock. It kind of sounds like your general wolves on the prowl kind of thing, but it's been happening quite commonly, which, again, it's the kind of, that's still like a normal thing. But you probably hear that one villager claims, like as you're talking to him, claims that he saw one of the beasts, and they had 2 heads and eyes that glowed red like coals. And so that sounds a little bit more, perhaps...
Yeah. Ominous.
Ominous, yeah, that's a good word for it. But again, it also sounds like something that, like, a standard adventuring party would deal with as well. It's the traditional, oh, somebody help, my livestock's going missing.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be too serious at the moment. Hopefully.
Well, you rolled 30, so...
May or may not be related.
Yeah.
As well.
Alright. So, there's nothing, at least with the common folk, that's... Oh, hey, we totally shouldn't go through this area.
Marilla, you go and you find Sir Bryce, who appears to be doing his rounds of the barracks and stuff. Kind of looking in on the men and making sure they're, doing their training properly. And Bryce wears this, like, I should mention this too, for those that don't remember, Sir Bryce wears this deep purple color as well, with, like, his tabard underneath his, or his coif underneath it, that goes, like, around his head, has, like, a shade of purple to it. It's kind of like a deep, royal purple. And he sees you walk up, and he says, "Ah, Lady Farhart, I assume that you have finished your letters."
She nods. I have.
That is good, that is good. What can I help you with?
I've been wondering if this town seems rather in more of a fortified status, as opposed to normal everyday life.
Yeah, and I think
what exactly has been happening to Middenstar within the last couple of weeks?
He says, well, we have had our share of problems in the past few years, as I said. First it was the goblins, and then it was the beastmen. And now it is the undead and demons. Although I can say that we have luckily avoided the bulk of an army, as you describe it. Little skirmishes here or there. Some farmsteads being burned. Nothing too out of the ordinary for an event like this, though.
Have you heard stories from the men? Anything out of the ordinary?
You mean besides the demons and chaos beings flying overhead and crawling into our nightmares? No, I can't say I have.
She nods. She's like, and your supplies, are they low?
We have enough to feed the people, and then some. Our surplus is not enough to feed what you call this bulk of the army, but I assume that your leader will conscript us when they come through. That is something I will have my men prepared for.
She kind of like breathes in when he says leader, and she's like, there's no one exactly in charge. Is not one person, at least. There are many of us.
Yeah, and I think he says, he kind of like raises an eyebrow and he says, there is no leader that sits at the host of the, or at the head of the host that you have. This is strange. Hi, Jackson.
I was replacing Dane's thing.
Yeah, I see that.
Mm-hmm. And she goes, well, it's a council of sorts, if you will, as opposed to one single person.
I see. So there are many blind leading the blind. That is as it should be, I guess. For if one man holds too much power, then it may go to their heads.
Right. Although, never mind. If that is all you have to tell me, I thank you. Sorry for interrupting your practices.
It is no problem. I'm sure there will be many time to talk in the days to come.
Very soon, I would assume. Within the week's time. You'll most likely see me again.
Yeah, and it kind of gives you like a polite nod. And returns to helping us. He probably like, gives you a polite nod and then turns and like, no, you're supposed to do it like this. Here, let me show you. And he like walks off to assist with two of the sparring guardsmen or whatever.
Yeah. She's going to converse with the knights then.
Okay, so you're gonna you head back over to where like your men and women, right? The paladins and knights or whatever are sitting, and they're kind of like aimlessly just like chattering, or some are probably still resting, or the thing is the ones with squires, right? They're probably helping like attend to horses and stuff like that. Generally preparing for the next order, essentially.
Yeah. She's going to simply converse in conversations and perhaps aid and like direct such as squires into how to like help their knights, quote unquote, better, such as how to polish their armor properly and things of that sort.
Okay.
She is intermingling with the knights, one would say. Sure,
and since it's been a problem, I want to see how good it is. Roll me a manipulation check.
Okay.
Normally I wouldn't, but you're not on the greatest foot with these people, so I want to see if you can improve that station.
Yeah, and I feel I'm going to spend my inspiration for this roll.
Okay, cool.
Because I feel like this is what she is trying to do, to uplift these people. So, that's a good fucking roll.
That's a good inspiration spending.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that the disaster of the night before, where you were like trying to give instructions and stuff like that, is subsided quite a bit by this seemingly more intimate relationship that you're trying to breed here with the men and women in the company. So like you're not going to win hearts and minds of everybody, but there are at least a couple of people throughout your time that are going to be like, oh yeah, no, Morella, yeah, she's pretty cool, I like her, kind of thing. They're not going to be like, you mean the one that trips over her own words? Like, they're not going to say that anymore.
Yeah.
So, cool. Awesome. Sweet. Slick. Excellent. So I assume also that at some point you guys begin to head off.
You cut out.
Sorry, still hear me? Hear me? Yes? We're good?
Yeah.
Yes? Still hear me? Okay, good. So the goal is to get here, get that information, and then kind of head out is the purpose of what's going on here. And the faster you get back to Delbers to meet up with the army, the faster they know they can turn east as opposed to going due north still.
Yeah.
And so I assume that you help the knights and, you know, give your farewells and thanks for the water and supplies and whatever, and head off perhaps a little after midday. And you're seen off by Bryce and all of the other guardsmen that are there, and you know they're like, we'll see you in a few days, etc., etc., and you guys begin to travel back. So that'll be your action. This is where we're going to get into the more mechanical stuff here. Your action will be to travel back to Delbers. So I'm going to go around the table with Aelin and Hannibal first, and then back to Farron and Morella to see what kind of rolls we're going to be making. But Aelin, you're back at the camp. Mechanically, how do you want to spend your time for this day? Because again, also in midday, they're going to be marching to Delbers, so that essentially the two groups will meet up by the end of the day. But mechanically, how do you want to spend your time improving things, helping out the army, doing the situation, etc., etc.?
I think that Aelin would probably spend most of the day helping with the effort of discovering all of the townspeople's hidden talents.
Sure.
And putting them to best use where their talents lie.
Sure. Absolutely.
So I think that she basically would just, it would kind of look the guise of her just really talking with people and just trying to, be genuine and just hear their stories. But the whole time she's doing that, she's like, okay, so you've been a blacksmith for 20 years. Great. Right. You come with me. Like that sort of thing.
Yeah. Or like you were a homemaker. So,
right.
you have some sewing skills. Okay. Right. I'm going to put you with the tailors. Yeah.
Or, you have 10 kids. Great. You're good with kids. Come with me. Like all of those sorts of things.
Totally.
So it's like part morale, but also part like actually putting people to use where they
Sure, yeah. So I think for the rolls I want you to make me, the first one is going to be insight to make that determination, right? Like what the people are good at.
Really, and who's like over exaggerating their skills, and
right?
Maybe
yeah,
isn't and that sort of thing.
Who's trying to impress people and who's underplaying their skills, right? So I think insight is the first one. I think the second one I want you to make is a manipulation roll, just to be personable and, convince these people to do these certain things.
I didn't hear you. What was the second one?
Manipulation.
Okay.
And then the third one I think I want is a, I wish that this game had a modesty check. That's what I wish this game had. Let me see here. Let's also do for the last one. Let's do a performance.
Okay. So insight first.
Yep.
Meh.
The thing is, these are townsfolk, so a lot of them are very plain speaking. So you probably do an all right job with a 12.
Okay, and then I'm gonna use persuasion as my thing.
Yeah, totally. So even though, I think that makes up for the weak insight. So the weak insight, maybe you misidentify a couple of people, but you're like
so many people, it's hard to.
Sure, it's hard to get to.
It's hard
everybody.
To gauge every single individual.
Sure, yeah, but fortunately, You're persuasive enough in the fact that you're like, oh, no, you'll be great. Like, here, I've got a good tutor for you. Like, they're going to help you out. And everybody gets genuinely kind of, like, excited about doing the thing and being part of the team. So you inspire...
Yeah, and I'm, like, being super, like, cheerful about it and being like, oh, you're going to be great at this. And, like, you know, motivational speaking.
Yeah, you do a good job of inspiring the team, at least. So then performance is going to be the overall evaluation of how everybody is viewing this action that you're doing. That's.
God, I really wish my performance was higher. Makes me sad. I feel like I roll it all the time.
I do make you roll it actually quite a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't have inspiration, so good luck.
Ooh.
Nope.
Yeah, so it's not that they see you negatively, right? But they probably see you in a way that you don't want them to. They see you as an authoritative figure, which is probably not what you were going for. They see you as someone who is in charge and someone who is giving commands and leading the people, which is not probably necessarily what Aelin was going for. It's not that it's a bad thing, but you know, people will recognize you a bit differently the next time that you have to have things done, right? So, there you go. Hannibal, I believe you actually have a mission, don't you?
Yep, I want to go find out where
So
they came from.
You'll notice
Where-
I have a little orange box on the screen.
Yes, you do.
That is
Which
where
part?
your mission was going to take place, and you're going to take Kree along with you, because he will go with you.
Yeah, let's
Um,
do this, Cree.
So, you and Kree begin headed off into the jungles, and he begins talking. You probably have a couple of the lizardmen skinks, because they can keep up with the mounts at a trot or whatever, and they're really good stealthy,
I'm bringing
deceptive
John
kind of things.
too.
Okay, cool. John's totally with you.
Because he needs to get some real world experience. I noticed he's been slacking.
Yeah, in the 2 days that he's been your apprentice.
He's been my apprentice for 4.
In the 4
those
days
were
that he's been your
4.
apprentice.
In those 4 days, I've noticed he's been slacking on the last one.
Yeah. And then a couple of the nights that Arcadia has arranged for you, and you guys head off into the jungle, essentially, tracking down these things. So I'm going to roll... I'm going to do 3 rolls, but the first one is going to be Kree's roll, and then you'll get the other 2 rolls.
Okay.
So your 2 rolls are going to be Investigation and Arcana, in whichever order you want to roll them in. And Kree's roll for your 3rd roll for your mission is going to be a survival check to see how well he's going to track these things. It's going to be pretty easy though to track them because he has a lot of experience with this. So
Also, do I have Tides of Chaos back?
have you used any spells?
No, I haven't.
Get wrecked.
Then no. But if you want to argue to use a spell to assist your investigation or arcana roll, let me know, and I will make you roll on the chart, and then do the thing.
I would like to. Can I use Detect Magic to help me find stuff?
Sure, yeah. So you want to before your arcana roll, you can use Detect Magic. I'll make you roll on the chart, which I still have to make. God, fuck.
No,
I'm
I
bad.
can't really do that, can I? Is Detect Magic 1st level?
Yeah, I think it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Detect Magic is a 1st level spell. Don't quote me on that.
Right.
My books are so far away, but
Detect Magic is a 1st level spell.
yeah, totally.
It is not a cantrip. That'd be
Say
broken
my
as
books
shit.
are so far away.
Yeah, no, my books are sitting, I don't
A
know.
whole 2 feet away, maybe 4. God.
Yeah,
It's
I was
more
confused
like
because I had it in my 2nd level spell slot, but then I realized that while I was still only a warlock,
Yeah, you
I
just
very
were
much
moving them
did-
over.
yeah, I just very much do not. All my spells are in level 3
Yeah.
right now.
No, but my books they're on my dresser, which is very far away. I'm connected via headphones to the computer. You see. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't even need them. So yeah,
Yeah,
so
the compendium.
correct.
I I get away from everybody before I do it.
Yeah, so let me roll the survival check for Kree. Oh, damn, he nails it. No problem.
That's
So yeah,
good.
he leads
Love
you.
it, Kree.
Yeah, so he leads you down the path, and you get to a point where he says, "Yeah, he's like, here's where we fought the last of them before they dispersed too far, and we had to turn around." And you get to where you see there's a clearing, a pretty large clearing with a couple of big like hills and mounds. They look almost like you know what? I'll wait to see what your investigation roll is to see if you can identify what they look like.
Okay. But first, should we roll the
Yes, go ahead. And so you're like, okay, give me some room, right? You tell everybody to give you some room, I assume.
And I would like to say this, guys. If I become a potted plant, break me.
Kree kind of like looks around, and you hear him like bark some orders at his lizardmen, and the couple of like cavalry guys that you have like kind of like back their horses off, looking a little concerned. John is standing right next to you, though. He doesn't know if you meant him.
Yeah, no, I meant you. Go away.
Yeah, and so he's like, oh, yes. And he kind of, like, trots off a little ways away.
Magic!
Now I need my books.
I have it open. I'll do it. Or roll a D100.
Roll a D100. A 9. What is a 9?
Is this not a 1?
I cast Magic Missile as a 5th level spell.
Okay.
I destroy a tree.
Yeah, so...
Hold on, I want to see how much damage I do. Hold on.
Yeah, roll me... yeah, 1d4 plus 1, right?
Yeah, and then that's times 7.
5. Oh, yeah, times 7,
times
right.
7.
Right.
I do 21 damage to just a random tree.
So yeah, it explodes outwards, right? Because it can hit multiple targets. So like, there's people like diving off their horses, and like John like is cowering. He slides. He does the thing that you see in movies where he's gripping onto the like pommel of his saddle, and one of the magic missiles like breaks the buckle, and he slides underneath, and he's like underneath the horse with his head on the ground now. And like a tree obliterates, and Kree like has to dive off of his of Noct. Noct is like jumping up in the air trying to catch them like fireworks, because he's not the smartest tool in the shed. And yeah, after that happens, nobody's injured, obviously.
All right, we all good? Don't worry, that's gonna happen a lot from now on.
Okay, now make me an Arcana check.
Now, real quick, I'd like to do something to supplement my investigation roll.
Okay.
I have beast speech.
Okay. Do you want detect magic, or do you want beast speech?
Beast speech is not concentration.
Really? Okay. Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
It's just invocation, right?
Yeah, it's a 10-minute duration. Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Or it's an hour, I think. What is it?
Okay, but are you rolling Arcana or Investigation first?
I'm gonna roll investigation first.
Sure.
And I would like to speak with the animals to help me.
Perfect.
All right. What do I get? What do I get with that? Do I just lower the
Roll
DC?
your investigation. I'll lower the DC, or make the information different.
All right. Cool. Yeah. So rolling this just regular.
Cool. 17. So roll me your Arcana too.
All right. This is I'm gonna use Tides of Chaos.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh.
Good, Tides of Chaos. All right, it's 12. Not great. So I think distinctively when you begin your investigation, you begin walking around, and maybe you're like using squirrel calls or whatever to like summon beasts to you. You don't think there are any animals in the general vicinity at all. Not even like insects. It seems very deathly quiet here. And so as you investigate, you realize that these hillocks that are in front of you, they look suspiciously like giant, like old school burial mounds. Your Arcana check, along with your Detect Magic, as you kind of, trace the outline of the area, doesn't really detect any residual magic or anything going on in particular interesting with them. But this site in and of itself is interesting, because what possibly could this be? That kind of thing. But a 17 investigation is not going to be enough to know, what it is or what it's about, but it is going to be enough to know that this is an ancient site of some sort.
An ancient site of power, possibly?
Perhaps.
So, could I devise that probably teleportation was used here again, or something?
Again, your Arcana and your Detect Magic is not showing anything, but maybe.
Alright.
That's an assumption that you can make.
I dig a little bit of the burial mounds.
Yeah, so you begin, clearing off some of the burial mounds, and you dig down a little bit, and you hit stone. Like a manufactured cut stone wall, almost.
Okay, that's interesting. I request some of the knights over here to help me bust down the wall.
Okay, so you want to, try and chip away at the stone wall?
Yeah, because a wall shouldn't be here, should there?
I mean, if these are burial mounds that have, if it's like a building underneath all of the dirt and grass, maybe.
Okay, in that case, yeah, and can I use, Eldritch Blast to help?
Sure, yeah, you guys can, with the tools available to you, you can begin doing that. And I will let you know what happens to you in a moment. But let's go over to Farron and Morella. So Farron and Morella, as the two of you are traveling over to Delbers, what are you going to do? What is the plan for all of you?
Besides simply go over to Delbers?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what are you going to use your actions to do within the traveling? Again, you can use them to integrate with the people, you can use them to inspire morale, you can use them to maybe scout the area, right? You can scout yourselves as opposed to having the NPCs do it. That kind of thing.
Morella would probably try to inspire that way. Especially because they're going back to Delbers, which they were attacked along this road, most likely. Maybe not the exact one, but along this way. So she's going to inspire the men and women that even if they do come back, we know, they know that they're just kind of weak type of thing. That
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. What about you, Farron?
Yeah. I think, because obviously I'm currently on a short leash with Morella. Yeah, I think perhaps performance set to boost morale.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
All right. So I think that for the two of you, we'll start with Morella. Morella, I'm going to need a manipulation check. I think that's the obvious one. Perhaps the less obvious ones are, I would like you to also make me a religion check.
Sure.
And then also make me an athletics check.
Okay. So what's the other roll?
Manipulation, religion, athletics.
In that order?
Yep.
Okay. So here's the manipulation. Gonna be doing the persuasion. I swear to God.
Yeah.
I saw a low number. I was like, if I roll another fucking one, I'll be pissed.
You're not that great at persuading, are you, Moran?
I know. I've just been rolling shit, actually. Really.
I think you should try just to intimidate everyone.
See, I'm actually because I'm a noble, I'm persuasive. That's the thing.
There were quotation marks around that statement, by the way, in case anyone was
Quote-unquote.
curious.
Use religion.
Ooh, that's a good one. Nice. Good.
And then here is athletics. Holy shit!
Nice.
Of
So,
course, athletics you crit.
Farron, since you are also here, I'm going to make you roll your 3 things before I tell Morella what happened. Farron, I want a performance check. Pretty easy. Performance is the easy one. The less easy ones, though, I think, are... I would like you to roll me... If you could roll me a insight check, and then also a animal handling check, please.
Okay. So, good one.
Performance. Nice. So yeah, you play a rousing tune and get even some of the men and women to join in with the singing and clapping and, you know, marching tunes, basically.
Yeah. So now to see how people really feel. Not bad.
Yeah, so morale seems to be pretty high. There does seem to be, though, a little bit of dissension between the different, not anything to do with you or Morella in particular, but between the different religious orders here.
Oh.
There appears to be some dissension in the ranks, and I'll get to what Morella's going to have in result of that as well. And then roll me the animal handling one, please.
I think I'll actually use my inspiration.
Okay, sounds good. Good inspiration use.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I'll get to that in a second as well. So, Morella, your persuasion check, again, you're trying to mingle with the people, persuade them to be on your side, etc., etc. And it's kind of like people are being polite, but not necessarily open to, like, the idea of, like, you know, you're the commanding officer, so they're going to listen to what you say, and they're going to be respectful and polite to you, but you don't think that, like, friends are being made here. Which is good, because your religion check gives you a similar idea of what Farron is seeing, that little bit of dissension. But you realize that it is probably because, and for those of you that don't look at the calendar on your day off, it is coming up very close to, in about a week or so, is let me get the exact name for it here. In about a week or so is the autumn equinox, where the primary worship is to 3 deities, Raya, Tal, and Ulrich. And you know this because you're a religious individual, that the dissension appears to be between the Knights of Sigmar, the Paladins of Sigmar, and the Paladins of Tal. There are no Paladins of or Knights of Ulrich here. They would all obviously be in Middenheim. But that appears to be the catalyst of the kind of dissension here. Maybe you pick up on a snippet of conversation or something between 2 individuals where, you know, a Paladin of Sigmar perhaps claims that, you know, well, you know, if the Paladins of Ulrich have fallen, then we must accept that they were not strong enough alone, so we must go and stand on their graves to battle back and claim vengeance. And, like, the Paladin of Tal is probably like, you know, well, that's a little harsh, like, we all return to nature at some point, but, you know, they perhaps earlier than, you know, maybe something should have been done earlier about this, etc., etc. Because you know that the Tal and Ulrich are actually very close together, as far as deities are concerned, and even Raya as well, because Raya is actually Raya's the goddess of life and fertility. She's actually Tal's wife. in a lot of the lore situations. So it seems to be between kind of those and between Sigmar. It doesn't seem to be like at a boiling point or anything like that, but you know,
tensions are rising.
There are cliques that are forming, if that makes sense. But the last one for the both of you is the best one of all. So as you guys are traveling, you pass a small copse of trees on the side of the road, and you decide that it's probably a good place to break for camp for like a midday snack. And so you kind of circle the horses and you tie them up and let them graze and begin busting out the rations and Farron, you're tending to what's the name of your horse again?
Daisy, I think.
Daisy.
Yes.
So you're tending to Daisy, and she becomes alarmed quite quickly, and you kind of you're like no, it's okay, and you begin to calm her down, and she kind of pulls away, and you begin to be like perhaps a little bit more forceful and calm her down, and you perhaps begin looking around, and you see that there are some other horses that are apparently uneasy and kind of like moving away, and then all of a sudden, as you turn around, bursting from this copse of trees is this large gray wolf that appears to have like part of its face has like a scar across it, and it bursts out of the copse of trees and kind of sits there growling, and the horses burst into like a kind of a frenzy, and you have enough animal handling skill to keep control of Daisy, maybe even to like mount her and control her. Morello, you're very close by as well when this happens, and you hear the horses and some of them begin to bolt. But because you rolled a 29 in athletics, you're able to like kind of leap in front of them and grab their reins and like forcefully like slow them to a halt. And as that happens, Farron, you look upon this wolf who kind of like looks around, growls, and then disappears back into the copse of trees as quickly as he showed up. So that's what happens for you.
So I didn't lose my horse.
You did not lose your horse. I tried real hard.
She did.
But you did not lose your horse. Congratulations. Boop, 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 boop. So, let's jump back over to Hannibal real quick.
Yo.
So Hannibal, you're ping, 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 and like people are digging stuff out, and you're blasting with your Eldritch Blast, and finally you break through the wall, and it kind of like falls inwards, and you can see you're kind of in like the seat, like kind of the upper portion where the ceiling meets the side wall of this large, like open kind of cavernous. I mean, it looks like a tomb, right? You can see that along the sides there are like edges, like long, like bed-like shapes with these wooden boxes, coffins, basically, that are like resting there. And you can like get in there and drop down fairly safely.
Yeah, I do.
So you drop down fairly safely, and Kree probably once you drop down, he probably calls down. He's like, maybe we should wait for some more people. I don't like what's down there.
Just give me a moment. If anything happens, I can get out just fine. Don't send anybody else down yet.
I think he says, yes, that sounds great.
So I begin investigating around. I like lift up the coffin, see if there's actually skeletons and stuff there, and I start looking for. You know what? Maybe I'll go with what Arkady said. I'm gonna look to see if there's any tunnels.
Okay, cool. So roll me an investigation check, but also roll me a medicine check.
Okay. First off, investigation. God damn it. And medicine. Why?
Nice. So you identify that these are not human remains. They appear to be orc remains. Whatever that may tell you.
What does it tell me?
Well, your investigation doesn't turn up much. There is a couple of, like, chambers that are located off of this burial mound. They kind of look like they go to the other mounds, though. You know what I mean? Like, they kind of, like, this is a little bit of a system here.
Okay. I'm going to explore a little bit to see. This is definitely a little bit too serendipitous for this to be here, and we're trying to find something.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to explore these.
Okay, cool.
I continue walking without anybody near me.
Yeah, so you continue kind of, like, traversing around. You travel through some different chambers and stuff and different, similarly shaped caverns and stuff where, like, there's a bunch of orc bodies and stuff like that. What's up?
Would Dane have been able to investigate too?
Sure, he can investigate. Roll an investigation for him.
Yeah, Dane. Dane, listen. I know that I don't ask for much from you.
Right, accept everything.
Shut up. But I need you to do this. And Dane, I choose you! Better than me.
True. That is a true statement you made. So you Dane begins flying around, and he'll find one more thing. But you find it shortly afterwards. You still have your detect magic running, right?
Yep.
And so as you kind of, like, begin exploring, you find that there's a set of large wooden doors that are steel shod, right? They have, like, steel beams and stuff kind of running through them. And they're in this kind of larger opening area at the end of a hallway. And as you approach them, your detect magic, when you get within 30 feet of them, right? Your detect magic kind of lights up. And you can tell that the doors themselves are magical.
I know what kind of magic it is as well.
Correct. It appears to be... what's the type of magic that these are? I want to say it is abjuration.
If you're looking for alarm.
Yes, abjuration.
Alright. Well, you know what I do immediately.
Okay.
Dispel magic.
Sure, go for it.
Is it 5th level or below?
Roll a spell. Is it 6th level? Oh, that's because you're casting at a higher level, right?
Because that's how
right.
it works for worlds.
So it is not 5th level or below. So you cast a spell magic, and you hear
But first, if it's above that, I can make a...
Right, yeah, but it's not. It's fine. You got it.
Okay.
The magic begins to dissipate from it, and then you hear, like, a crunching sound. Like a... And you see the doors begin to buckle, and it looks like they were holding up perhaps an unstable portion of this cavern, and it looks like it's going to collapse.
I go in quickly.
Well, the doors are closed. You'd have to open them.
I open them.
Yeah, so you run and you open it up, and when you open it up, it destabilizes it even more, and make me a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. This is where Hannibal dies.
Alright, I need to see how much a ton of earth does to a character real quick. The good news is, once you take damage, you'll be able to do a thing to get away, I assume.
Yep.
But I do need to find out how much damage it does deal to you, and whether or not there are any effects from that.
As long as it's below 62.
I think I'm going to treat it like fall damage. Kind of. But I think there's enough weight of stone coming down upon you not going to kill you, because you're going to be able to get away. I'm not trying to kill you with it, but I'm looking for basic trap damage real quick. I think if it is... Hold on 1 second.
10.
It's not a trap per se, but it is relative to that, right? It is kind of the thing that is ongoing.